Plus, Denver Health taking precautions right now after a person in Texas is diagnosed with Ebola, the first case here in the U.S., and that patient now in isolation at a Dallas hospital. And new at 6, we're all talking about it, Ebola here in the U.S., and now our doctors making sure they are prepared for a possible outbreak. Lance Hernandez went over to Denver Health to find out exactly what can be done to protect us.
Well, and Denver Health, like other hospitals here, has put together a plan in the event that someone shows up here with Ebola. Now, doctors say it's more likely that it would be a single patient or two, not a mass outbreak because of the nature of the disease. Now that it's in the U.S., what's the likelihood that it could end up in Colorado?
We've been expecting that of all the thousands of cases infected in Africa, that one would get on a plane, one would be able to travel to the United States. So I think we will likely hear of more of these reports.
The head of the Division of Infectious Diseases at Denver Health says they're ready if a suspected Ebola patient shows up. Take a look at this. She gave us access to the room they'd use to treat such a patient. It's near the emergency room. It's oversized to allow staff enough room to put on or remove hospital gear and has reverse airflow capability if needed. She tells 7 News a patient would first be evaluated in a separate room away from other patients and staff. I asked if you can contract Ebola as easily as a cold. She said no.
This is something that requires direct contact with infected body fluids. So our protocol really is focusing on that and focusing the contact of other providers and patients with that individual.
And Dr. Connie Price says if you happen to be in a waiting room when an Ebola patient walked in, you wouldn't be at risk. She says the only people at risk are those who come into direct contact with the patient's bodily fluids. With Ebola, we're talking about a patient who might be so sick that they're vomiting, that they might be hemorrhaging blood, or experiencing diarrhea. At Denver Health, Lance Hernandez, 7 News.